symbolic, light is metaphor, light is always at like the height of power, where you get it. It's usually associated with the sun. So the first character that we hear that comes from Kemetic belief systems. That's Ra, and that's the sun that defeats chaos. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but every day you guys see Ra up in the sky. Like, you see him in the morning, you're like, "Hey, what up, Ra? Good to see you in the morning." And then like around like 11 a.m., you're like, "Hey, what's going on, Ra?" By 1 o'clock, you're like, Jesus Christ. By 4 o'clock, you're like, "I'm so sick of him. I wish he'd go away." And then by the evening, you're like, "Oh man, I'll see you tomorrow, homie." When all that happens, Ra descends into the underworld, and that's where it really gets interesting for Ra. The parties up here, that's easy, right? The easy day part. It's the nighttime descent into the underworld that becomes significant for Ra. So that's why if I look at like the mythological representations of light itself, this is what he does. Like, light, every sunrise is a victory over chaos. Every time he comes up and he rises, it's more of a celebration than what we even think it is. This is truly one of the earliest parallel stories of light overcoming chaos. If we put Starlight into that, like, her coming out of this is her being reborn after going through the crucible. That is ultimately the story. This comes from Kemetic belief systems, and Ra represented life itself. He represents order, represents illumination. So that's a whole thing. We've always had that representation of Ra, and it's one of the like. So what he faces every single night, right? Every single night, he goes into the underworld, and this asshole named Apep is waiting down there for him, right? Apep is ultimately chaos itself. Apep is the anti to everything we want. He wants to stop Ra from rising, because if Ra doesn't rise in the morning, all order breaks down. Like, every aspect of order is now in jeopardy. So this is what he faces. So every night he descends into this underworld, and Apep is the giant snake. So you guys are gonna have to get up on Apep. He's one of the biggest, like, craziest forces that's out there. And I'm telling you right now, Apep has worshipers, active worshipers. There's a guy, I'll talk about Apep again in a separate live, right? But Apep, literally, there's a guy who went to is a murderer. He's a mass murderer. It's like 5 years ago. I can't remember this guy's name, and I feel like I intentionally like didn't keep his name logged into my brain. But is doing murders, and is all marked up as "I am a disciple of Apep." I don't know how much truth that is, and I don't want to know. But it does seem like any other worship, Apep worship is still persistent. So in ancient beliefs, that's the battle. If Ra ever lost, if the sun didn't rise, the world ends. So this is the biggest battle you can get, and this is what Atun Ra represented, right? He is that ultimate defender of us. So every single night he has to go and face the battle against chaos, that ultimate battle. If he ever loses, right, even one time, all of a sudden we don't get to exist anymore, right? So that is illumination. That's all that stuff at the highest level, right? That we have to face Apep, right? Or he has to face Apep every single night, and it's a big battle. First of all, Apep isn't coming down there by himself, right? Apep isn't coming alone. There's a whole legion that assaults this boat. And how important is it that we defend Ra? Well, everybody comes down and joins, right? Sekhmet's there, right? Set is there. Mafdet, Osset, like, everybody comes out, and they're on the solar bark because they have to defend him. So every night when the sun rises, man, you got to think about how lucky you are that the sun came up, that we were able to defeat actual chaos, because that's what we need every single night. So this is one of the earliest representations of how important light is to hold off chaos. So that's what Starlight, that Starlight lineage in there, is that she's part of that, right? The boys internally, they represent the darkness, and she literally comes in as Starlight. Like, it stays so true to the story that I can't get past it. Like, not only is she light in form, she's also manifested, and the metaphor for her role is 100% like light bringer, right? So she's illuminating like this corporate manipulation. She's illuminating this power abuse. She keeps on fighting. She keeps shining through, no matter what. Darkness can't keep her down, right? So then the next one, of course, in mythology, and I'm sure you guys know about this guy as well, this is Apollo. Now, this comes to us from Greek and then later Roman mythology, and he's one of the more fascinating gods in mythology. Now, I'm not going to lie, This is one of the first gods that I was actually like, oh man, this dude is dope right here. It was Apollo when I started reading about Greek mythology, like very, very early on. So he's associated with a lot of really good things, right? He's light. He's truth. He's music, right? So again, maybe I was wrong on that associating with Dazzler. I was saying I didn't understand Dazzler's music and light connection. Maybe it comes through Apollo. Like Apollo's repping that same thing. He's also healing. So the power of vibration, light is oftentimes associated with healing. Light music is also associated with healing as well. So two kind of healing aspects within that one character, right? Knowledge. Again, light is illumination. So it does come along with I can see things. I've illuminated what's in front of you. I'm exposing any corruption. Like I am enlightened, right? That's literally what it represents. I am enlightened, right? This is prophecy. So Apollo illuminates more than just the physical world. He illuminates reality itself. That's how powerful he was. He's associated with the Oracle at Delphi, and that's an important part of his character. Like going there and being able to reveal prophecy is a huge part of what he is. He reveals what is hidden. He exposes deception. He brings clarity, right? This connection becomes incredibly interesting when we look at Starlight. And as I'm talking about it more, I'm seeing a lot more of a connection with Apollo and a character like Starlight, like why she represents that. And I'm not sure if the writers had keyed onto it, but they're pretty sharp guys down there. So I'm going to assume that they did. Like that's a very, very profound connection. She becomes truth teller, right? That's what she really becomes. She becomes throughout the boys. She is repeatedly exposing secrets with her connection. She reveals the corruption. She uncovers a lie. So this is right in tune with what she's supposed to represent. She shines a spotlight on all the other things that everybody wanted to hide. So Apollo is very much connected with that. You know, that music and that performance. Starlight obviously is a public figure. She's a performer, entertainer herself. So there's a lot in there. And as I kind of look at it, man, that makes me think back on Dazzler, who we just broke down. And those three kind of form something that I'm seeing in terms of light, in terms of illumination, performance, and music as well. So they're kind of tying all that stuff in. Clearly Starlight lesser so on like the actual music part, but she would, we saw her as she was coming up that dancing music was a part of what she did. So she becomes an illuminator rather than just a performer. But that's in tradition. That is 100% in tradition with following of Apollo. So that's pretty profound. I think they're really drawn on like in two mythological characters, Ra and now Apollo. We could see a lot of how people would come at, like how you develop a character like Starlight. So that's kind of some brilliant writing, right? And the third one in the mythological part is Amaterasu, who is the Japanese, I believe this is the sun goddess. And what she represents, if you know this story, and this is a vastly important story from Shinto mythology. I think this is Shinto mythology. And she is the great sun goddess. And like every other culture, sun is obviously very important. Like the sun was very important, particularly in Japan. Remember their symbol, their national symbol embraces the sun. So they put that at the center of their identity, right? Put it at the center of their identity. And I'm going to talk about some other Japanese characters because there's some great, man, what was that guy's name? Was it Sunfire? I think it's Sunfire. It was a Japanese character. I think he's kind of associated with the X-Men. And he represented Japan. We'll talk. He was a solar figure. He looked like the flag, so he was kind of like their Captain America, Captain Britain kind of character. Like a great character, though. I really enjoyed this character, right? So, but back to Amaterasu, like the story of the sun here is she represents when the sun goes away. What happens is that something comes out. She has a brother. Brothers always kind of mess with their sisters. And he does something that, hurts her or humiliates her. And as a result, she goes into a cave. So she cuts off sunlight from the entire world and everything becomes dark and completely suffering. Like everything sucks now, right? Like you ever heard the song, Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone? It's all dark when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Every day I wish she's something like that. We're sad because she went away. The sun went away, and that's what she is. As soon as she went away, the entire world starts to suffer. Everything sucks. You can imagine. It's cold outside, right? No crops will burn. Like, this sounds very much like the story of Demeter in Greek myth, where Demeter goes away. That's how they explain the seasons. In this Japanese and this Shinto mythology, they're expressing the same thing. It's a seasons change, but it happens in a different way. You literally drive the light away. She becomes light hidden away. So now darkness spreads, right? Just like what was his name? Rick Jane. Darkness is spreading, everyone. The Darkness Brothers. Darkness is spreading. So life becomes weak. Order itself starts collapsing. So again, the association like Ra with order and light is like, it's a pillar. Like, light is absolutely a pillar of all this. And when the sun gone, things get desperate. Like, the other gods start instantly getting tight. They start realizing pretty quickly where the real power of life actually is. And it ain't in you guys, right? Like, it's not in you guys. It's actually in her. So it's in her, and she's gone. So all of a sudden, this is a problem, right? So this is what we see. So eventually, all the gods have to get together and kiss her ass and beg her to come back. And they, fortunately for us, they lure her out. They get some diamonds and some other stuff, and they lure her out, and she comes on out. And then everything is better again after she comes out. Thank you for coming back out, Amaterasu, right? Amaterasu, right? Thank you so much. So they lure her out. Life returns, light returns, and life returns. And then hope. We get all the other good stuff. Hope. The world's suffering ends. Light's back. We can all start partying again. Everything changes, right? So this is kind of the story. Like, whenever she withdraws, you can kind of see it becomes a darker spot. Like, so it's very symbolic. And I just think, like, overall, what we're seeing, even mythologically, if we look at the pattern of how important light is, right, through Ra, Apollo, Amaterasu. They're different cultures, but they're all separated by thousands of years culturally, geographically, but light remains that same thing. Light is symbolic of the truth. Light is not merely illumination. Light is also truth. It's hope. It's order. It's moral guidance. It's darkness is not merely the absence of light. Like, in this scenario, dark is the corruption, the ignorance, the fear, despair. So this is why she resonates with audience, because she's burning all these things back. Consciously or unconsciously, we're still reflecting what our ancient ancestors saw in mythology. That's kind of like, comic books are still representing that. And it seems like a lot of comic book guys read a lot of mythology too. Like, I see a lot of mythological themes in modern comic books, and this is one of the stronger ones. This is her as the light bearer, man. Like, it's the light bearer. She is tasked with actually being a corrective force. We rely on her to burn that corruption out, and she does a great job. Like, she actually does a great job. I'm very proud of the person that is Annie January, because what she stayed true to that character. She really represents it, and I think she pulled it off. In the tradition of modern mythology, I think she pulls it off, right? So at the end of her, it's like, what's the last message